Good day, XCOM fans. This is Delta Angelfire here, bringing you another XCOM multiplayer match. This time we'll be looking at an unranked match from the EU servers between Sooty and Planeswalker, and we'll be watching it from Sooty's point of view. Our hero Sooty is going to be running a 5 medic build. As you can see here, he's got 5 soldiers. All of them are going to be having a similar medic loadout, and filling out his squad is going to be a single Sectoid. And our opponent, Planeswalker, is going to be running what I'm going to call a 1-2 punch build, and I'll get into that more as the match progresses. Now, the strength of this particular build is that the medics are highly efficient for their point value. You get units with a very high accuracy, a moderate amount of hit points, and a wide array of defensive abilities. One of those abilities you're seeing in action right here, which is the Dense Smoke Grenade. Provides a plus 40 defense to all your units, which is an upgrade from the basic Smokejumper smoke grenade, and is essentially doubling all of his defensive protection at the moment. Now, you want to keep your medic squad together, not only so that they can all benefit from the cover of the smoke grenades, but also so they can respond quickly to any enemy situations that arise. You definitely want to play defensively and keep all your units on Overwatch. So when a situation like this arises, when you finally spot an enemy on their turn, you can get up to 2, 3, even 4 free shots on them at once. Now that the enemy has spotted us and knows where we are, they're going to try to move their units into position to take us out. But watch right here, something really interesting is about to happen. Our Sectoid tries to get a flanking position, and even though it gets shot down, you can see something very interesting just happened there. There were actually 2 shots that went at that Sectoid. I don't know if you caught that. We only saw 1 unit that could fire at it. So if a second unit had an Overwatch to shoot at it, then that means it had to be something with Squad Sight. Squad Sight is the only ability that allows a soldier to shoot at something it cannot see. As always, if you can keep your defenses up, you're going to want to do that. Since Sooty could not actually safely get into a very good position with that soldier, it doesn't hurt to keep the defensive up as your other ones. Behind high cover and with a smoke grenade, you have an 80% less chance to be hit, which essentially can make you immune to a lot of lower ranked soldiers. Now, we can see here that through the Overwatch shots, we managed to spot our opponent's assault soldier, and this is going to represent a hefty investment. It has a good number of hit points, a very expensive alloy cannon, if you can recognize that on sight, and it managed to kill one of our units in just 1 shot. Now, Sooty's going to do a very smart thing here. He's going to look and see all the abilities of his unit there. Now, I don't know if he noticed, but the unit is under the effects of Stim Pack, and if you've been watching any of my Twin Stim Gunner builds, you know exactly how powerful that can be. Because of some of the other abilities we spotted on the Assault Gunner here, we can deduce that its point cost is somewhere probably in the 5,000 point range. Now, in a 10,000 point match, that means more than half of the opponent's resources are tied up in this one individual, so if we can manage to take it out without too many casualties, we should be in good shape for the rest of the match. Now, Sooty went ahead and tried to fire on the unit. I don't know if he realized that Stim Pack was still up. He might have actually missed that particular point of information. But it's not going to hurt too badly, because now that the opponent has left his soldier sitting there out in the open, his Stim Pack is going to wear off, and any single shot is just going to take him down. And here you see the limitations of the Assault Soldier. While he managed to take out 2 units, he does a lot of damage, and a lot of that damage was wasted because we don't have any very high point value units. If we had fielded something like a Super Soldier of our own, or perhaps a Cyber Disc, then the Assault would have definitely paid for himself. He would have gotten at least 1 kill, probably 2. And while he got 2 knockdowns here, the fact that we're running medics with Medikit, which is the more defensive build, means that some of our soldiers were going to have a good chance to revive and get right back into the fight. So essentially, the only thing we lost here was 1 of our medics, thanks to this little shot from this Sectoid here, and our opponent lost his major unit, his 5,000 point Assault Soldier. So if we can run the numbers right now, we've taken out the opponent's Soldier and Sectoid, which is going to be probably a little bit more than half of the enemy squad. The opponent, however, has only managed to take out 1 of our Sectoids and 1 of our soldiers. So essentially, we're still running at about 80% capacity. This still doesn't mean, however, that we can get reckless. You can see that Sooty is still staying in high cover, he is still going on Overwatch and proceeding cautiously, and he is still using his medkits to the best of his ability to keep his soldiers in high health so that they can take that extra shot before going down. I did actually forget that we took out that Smokejumper a little earlier in the match, but I can see the body right now behind the broken windows. So our opponent has lost significantly more than half of his squad, probably about 60 to 70%. And so that's still enough for him to have 1 or 2 units left over. And if we didn't see that really hard to spot laser rifle shot, we might not know that we're going up against our opponent's last lone sniper. Now the question is, what could our opponent have done to have the situation turn out more in their favor? Well, he couldn't see exactly what kind of squad we were running, so he didn't know quite exactly what to expect. At a certain point, he had to pop his stim pack. That would have been the turn before we actually discovered him. And so at that point, he was pretty locked into a course of action that pretty much required him to attack. Now, that probably wasn't the best idea to begin with. When you're using an assault and a sniper, you really want to keep your soldiers together. You can see from the last 3 or 4 turns, you have not seen any sniper shots at all. That means his sniper was out of position, and he was basically going up against our entire 9,000 point squad with just one 5,000 point soldier of his own. And there's not a lot of situations where that's going to end up well. From the start, our opponent probably should have saved their stim pack and actually kept their assault soldier a little further back in a more defensive position. Also, what I would have done is change the troop composition a little. While he did have a Smokejumper, which is a pretty good investment, he only was fielding 4 soldiers. I almost would have rather seen him do 2 more Sectoids and upgraded his sniper a little better. And the big thing you want to do is that your 2 damage outputters, your number 1 damage output being your assault, and your number 2 damage output being your sniper, which is where I'm going to say comes from the 1-2 punch name that I gave this build earlier, you definitely want to keep them together. Because if you have one go in and one stay out, you're essentially cutting yourself in half, and as anyone knows, you don't really want to split the party. You need to keep your soldiers either together so that they can protect each other, or you need to have them split up in such a way that they can outflank the enemy and kind of get a nice pincer maneuver going on from both sides. At this point now, it's just chasing down the last lone enemy sniper, and that is going to be the GG. Thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in this match, or if you want to see any other matches by Sooty, I can link you to his YouTube channel down below. Also, especially a big thanks to Sooty for letting me cast this match. It was great to be able to see someone else put their units in action. And I will see you guys next mission.